Hi, this is Marty. I'm back and welcome to my channel. My topic for today is about women power, women who made Philippine history. Most of them are badass Filipina warriors you never heard of. So what I am going to share today are 23 Filipinas whose story should be remembered. First on my list is María Josefa Gabriela Cariño de Silang. María Josefa Gabriela Cariño de Silang was a Filipina revolutionary leader, best known as the first female leader of an Ilocano movement for the independence from Spain. She took over the reins of her husband Diego Silang's revolutionary movement after his assassination in 1763, leading the Ilocano rebel movement for 4 months before she was captured and executed by the colonial government of the Spanish East Indies. Next on my list is Melchora Aquino de Ramos. Melchora Aquino de Ramos was a Filipina revolutionary who became known as Tandang Sora because of her age during the Philippine Revolution. She was known as the Grand Woman of the Revolution and the Mother of Balintawak for her contributions. In her native town, Tandang Sora operated a store which became a refuge for the sick and wounded revolutionaries. Secret meetings of the Katipuneros were also held at her house. Another badass Filipina warrior who made history is Teresa Maguano y Ferraris. Teresa Maguano y Ferraris, better known as Teresa Magbanua and dubbed as the Visayan Joan of Arc, was a Filipino school teacher and a military leader. Magbanua is credited as the only woman to lead troops in the Visayan area during the Revolution. She is one of the few Filipinos to have participated in all 3 resistance movements against Spain, United States, and Japan. Next on my list is Josefa Madamba Llanes-Escoda. Josefa was a prominent civic leader and a social worker. She is well known as a Filipino advocate of women's suffrage and was founder of the Girl Scout of the Philippines. As the Japanese army pushed deeper in the country, Josefa and her husband had intensified their activities of supplying medicines, foods, clothes, and messages to both Filipino war prisoners and American internees in concentration camps. Another badass Filipina warrior who made history is Magdalena Leonis. Magdalena Leonis was born in Palinga. Leonis served as an intelligence officer for the United States Army Forces in the Philippines, Northern Luzon. She was a messenger who transported confidential data, radio parts, and medical supplies between camps. She was the only Asian to be awarded as a World War II Silver Star for heroism by the U.S. government. Next on my list is Paz Marquez Benitez. Paz was a Filipina short story writer, educator, and editor. Her career as a woman educator as well as her contributions as a writer are seen as an important step within the advancement of women in professional careers as well as in the development of Philippine literature. During her career as a writer, Paz Marquez Benitez developed fictional short stories criticizing American imperialism. Paz Marquez Benitez remained as a prominent influence on Philippine literature through not only her writings but her impact as an educator and editor. Another badass Filipina warrior is Trinidad Perez Dixon. Trinidad Perez Dixon, known as the Mother of Biakna Bato and Mother of Mercy, fought to gain Philippine independence. She was given the title Mother of Biakna Bato by General Emilio Aguinaldo. She was also cited the Mother of the Philippine National Red Cross for her service to her fellow Katipuneros. She also fought with the revolutionaries in 12 battles under 5 Filipino generals and organized a group of women to nurse wounded Filipino soldiers. Next on my list is Maria Orosa E. Ilagan. Maria Orosa E. Ilagan was a Filipina food technologist, pharmaceutical chemist, humanitarian, and war heroine. She experimented with foods native to the Philippines and during the World War II developed Sayolak, a nutrient-rich drink from soybeans, and Darak, rice cookies packed with vitamin B1 which could also prevent beriberi disease, which she also helped smuggle into Japanese-run internment camps which helped save the lives of thousands of Filipinos, Americans, and other nationals. She introduced to the public the well-known banana ketchup. Another badass woman warrior who made history is Avida Iniquez. Avida Iniquez was a Philippine general in the Philippine Republican Army and a member of the Katipunan. She fought in the Philippine Revolution and the Philippine-American War. Few sources refer to her as Generala Avida. Apparently, she was commissioned by General Miguel Marvar and General Severino Taño to lead a detachment of forces in May 1897. Next on my list is Encarnacion A. Alzona. Encarnacion A. Alzona was a pioneering Filipino historian, educator, and suffragist. The first Filipino woman to obtain a PhD, she was conferred in 1985 the rank and title of National Scientist of the Philippines. Alzona chose to remain in Manila for the duration of the Japanese occupation during World War II. She was involved in the guerrilla movement against the Japanese. This is Marty once again. Please keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Another badass Filipina warrior who made history is Remedios Gomez-Paraiso. Remedios Gomez-Paraiso, known primarily as Commander Yuwayway, was a commander for the Philippine military. Her father's death inspired her to leave home to join the guerrilla forces against Japan. Yuwayway was known for dressing formally and wearing red lipstick in battle. Her reasoning was that she was fighting for the right to be herself. The guerrilla forces gave Commander Yuwayway her name, meaning Commander Lone. She chose to join rather than die without putting up resistance. Captain Nellie Fernandez was a Filipino school teacher and a guerrilla commander who fought the Japanese in Tacloban during World War II. Fernandez extensively trained her men in combat skills and making of improvised weaponry, as well as leading her men in front. She became the first and the only female guerrilla commander in the Philippines. Captain Fernandez would wear a black dress and fight barefoot as she committed silent killings with a bulo knife. Under her command, at the south of Tacloban, 110 native men were able to kill more than 200 Japanese men. Another badass Filipina warrior who made history is Josephine Guerrero. Josephine Guerrero was a Filipina spy during World War II. Guerrero had leprosy and was an effective surveillance asset for American Allied forces. The Japanese frequently conducted full-body searches of Filipinos, but they left Guerrero alone when she told them of her disease. Guerrero successfully transmitted secret messages, information, weapons, and vital supplies to the resistance and soldiers. Her task later escalated to mapping out Japanese gun emplacements and fortifications. Another badass Filipino warrior that every Pinoy should remember is Maria Constantino Keller. Maria Constantino Keller, better known by her stage name Carmen Rosales and by her nickname Mommy, was a noted Filipina actress and a World War II guerrilla fighter. Rosales' husband Ramon was killed by Japanese forces early in the Japanese occupation. As a result, she decided to join a guerrilla group and fight the Japanese. She joined the Hukbong Bayan Laban sa Hapon forces and became a sharpshooter. She was known for wearing a false mustache during guerrillas' raid in an effort to disguise herself. Next on my list that every Pinoy should remember is Natividad Almeida Lopez. Natividad Almeida Lopez was the first female lawyer in the Philippines, passing the bar exam in 1914 and the first woman to defend a woman in a court of law. She was also the first female judge of the Municipal Court of Manila. She has been described as a beacon in the feminist movement. Another great Filipina who made history is Fe Villanueva del Mundo. Fe Villanueva del Mundo was a Filipina pediatrician, the founder of the first pediatric hospital in the Philippines. Her pioneering work in pediatrics in the Philippines while in active medical practice spanned 8 decades. She was the first female president of the Philippine Pediatric Society and the first woman to be named National Scientist of the Philippines in 1980. Medicine in the Philippines was revolutionized by Dr. Fe Delmonder. She made numerous breakthroughs in the field of pediatrics, from immunization, treatment of jaundice, and providing accessible health care to countless families living in poverty. Another great Pinay who also made history is Purita Calao Ledesma. Purita Calao Ledesma was a writer and art critic, and founder of the Art Association of the Philippines in 1948. Estefania Aldaba Lim was the first female secretary of any cabinet of the Philippines, serving as a Secretary of Social Services and Development from 1971 to 1977. She was also the first Filipino clinical psychologist. In 1979, she was the first woman to become Special Ambassador to the United Nations with the rank of Assistant Secretary General during the UNESCO International Year of the Child. In 1994, she founded the Museo Pambata, the Philippines' first children's museum. Next on my list is Edith L. Tiempo. Edith L. Tiempo is a poet, fiction writer, teacher, and a literary critic who was a Filipino writer in English language. Her poems are intricate verbal transfigurations of significant experiences as revealed in two of her pieces, Halaman and Bonsai. Another Filipina who made history is Damiana Eugenio. Damiana Ligon Eugenio was a Filipino female author and professor who was known as the Mother of Philippine Folklore, a title she received in 1986. Apart from teaching at the University of the Philippines, she has several publications in the field of Philippine folklore, among them a series of 7 books which she compiled and edited. Another badass Filipina warrior who made history is Patrocinio Gamboa y Villarreal. Also known as the heroine of Haro, Patrocinio was born to a family of ilustrados but yearned to free her country from Spanish rule. Inspired by the advocacy of Jose Rizal and Graciano Lopez Haina, she joined the revolutionary government to raise funds and heal wounded soldiers as a Red Cross nurse. Gamboa was dropped off the Spaniards' radar due to her gender and affluence. She used this to her advantage and acted as an intelligence agent for the revolution. In November of 1898, Gamboa successfully able to take replica of the Philippine flag to Santa Barbara headquarters of General Martin Delgado. They had to bring the flag for the inauguration of the revolutionary government of the Visayas. Another badass Filipina warrior every Pinoy should remember is Grigoria Montoya y Patricio. Grigoria Montoya was the lesser-known heroine in the Battle of Calero Bridge in Dalahican, Cavite. Just like other women who joined the revolution, Grigoria fought in the battle for a worthy cause, to avenge her husband's death. During the Battle of Dalahican on November 10, 1896, Grigoria led some 30 Filipino rebels to fight against an infantry division of the Spanish army. She was reportedly seen standing on a trench with one hand holding a bolo and another one firmly grasping the Katipunan flag. My last list of Filipina who made history is Lourdes Evangelista Castro. Lourdes Castro was one of the only 2 Filipino World War II U.S. veterans. A pharmacy graduate from UST, Castro is known for her volunteer works during the war. Aside from being part of the medical corps who attended to the needs of the wounded American soldiers, Castro was also a member of the guerrilla forces as well as the Philippine Commonwealth Army. Castro had a notable role in freeing prisoners of war in a concentration camp in Los Baños, Laguna. She been there later risked her life when she went into the battlefield pulling wounded soldiers out of harm to treat their wounds. In my opinion, just like the badass women I featured in my vlog who fought for Philippine independence, all mothers are also the badass for all generations. I believe empowerment is one of the defining characteristics of motherhood. Mothers raise and teach their children to be good humans so that in the future, they will also do the same for the next generation to come. I salute to all women and to all mothers in the world. And thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoy. Please comment down below #I am a badass woman or hashtag I am a badass mom, or hashtag I had a badass mom.